Hi there! Welcome to Night Timeline Talks. It's hard, but we still are under this quarantine. A lot of uncertainty, I was telling from my personal perspective, from the perspective of too many Americans who are isolating their health to don't risk others and risk themselves. But the image that lately was impressing and making the comments of the newscasting all day long is about that forklift putting pallets with bodies in a frozen truck in New York. I don't reproduce because when a trending image is everywhere, there is no reason to reproduce such things that bring to our minds a lot of stress. We are not trying to stress yourself. What we are trying to do with these comments is put in perspective everything, and at the end of the day make a possible decision, combine it with a personal introspection that in life there are more things ahead. There is light at the end of the tunnel, and there are more faith and joy coming on. Nothing lasts forever. We are just feeling weird because every day we work all day long. We go to play to the park with the dog. We meet with friends at Starbucks. We have a lot of activities that we never seen before. Before or beyond the four walls of your living room, your dining room, or your garage. Because by the way, I am organizing several things in my house that went out of order, and it's a good time to find things we forgot somewhere and put everything organized, especially books, notes, videos, many things. In fact, I was planning to take all my videos to a place where they transfer all the records into a digital file. Very good business, very good service, but the only thing I disappoint is they don't return you your videos and your pictures. They kept everything for themselves, and my point was, okay, you charge me for the service ahead. You have thousands of customers. But what happens if you lose one of my videos, for example, my favorite one, when my son deliveries happens in the room of the Piedmont Hospital? He's a PD baby. They call PD babies to the boys and girls born in the Piedmont Hospital in Atlanta. So I was thinking, well, if they lose that video, I'll become crazy, because that was one of my favorite videos. Well, guess what I did? I buy the devices, all peripherals and wires, to connect my VCR into my computer and do the transfer of the video. And there is not a problem to do it. What happens is we don't have the time to play everything and edit and adjust the colors and, too many things we have to do it. I'm going to try. If I can't meet the quality and the resolution I am expecting for, I'm going to give my arm to twist, take the box of videos into the store and say, okay, how much is it? I believe that is $27 an hour or for a piece of video and pictures, and I'm going to do one try. If I like it, I should come back. If not, I let you know. But this time is good to try and do many things you are expecting to do when you have a time, and that time never comes because friends call you, we have a mandatory meeting with the boss, we have a doctor's appointment, we have to do too many things, and we put at the end of the day some responsibilities that are important, but we never like to prioritize in order of importance. We are in some way people who play with the time according how we feel. If we are tired or we don't like to do something, we don't do it, period. But that is not good for us. Anyway, thank you for your comments. Thank you for your messages. This pandemic is making everyone to create a podcast, to play music, to dance, to tell jokes. I was using my poor experience broadcasting news and trying to do these comments. In fact, for a long time, since 2010, I have a broadcast in Spanish called Charlas de la Noche, Palabras con Imagen. Is the meaning of night timeline talks, words with image. But several friends, speaking English friends, told me, Francisco, why not you try your English version? I am doing, and we are measuring the rating. Somebody is checking the quality on my pronunciation. I have to be honest. I don't hide, and I don't like to be a person who like to impose my show. No, I am surrounded by a group of experts who are telling me and advising if my show really deserve a place on the grids of the English-speaking shows. If not, whatever. I keep going in Spanish and nothing happens. I have a great partner in Spanish, a very well-known and recognized Mexican journalist from Monterrey, Plácido Garza. He wrote on 52 newspapers along Mexico and the United States. And he's doing a great political forecast on the daily living of Mexicans, and we combine with my comments about the Mexican American and the Latin American community in the USA and what is happening in the bilateral relationship between both countries. For example, we were very busy those days that President Trump closed the border for tourists and visitors with visa. If you go to the Mexican-American border, American authorities only allowed American citizens and permanent residents. Tourists are receiving an apology from the customs agents or Homeland Security agents and receiving a notification that probably beginning April 30th, they should have a free pass showing their laser visa and they can visit any cities. For some Americans that live on the north of the states, in Canada, in Alaska, in Hawaii, many American border cities, they live of the commerce between Mexican population, between boats. Many people from Mexico cross the border to do shopping. In fact, there is a lot of critics because many Mexicans buy beer, groceries, even the toilet paper. They buy in America. When September 11 happens, American government did a similar regulation. They closed the borders, they closed the airports, they closed too many activities. And guess what? The mayors of the largest American cities like Laredo, McAllen, Brownsville, El Paso, San Diego, many, Nogales, Arizona, many cities met with President Bush and request the reopening of the American border. Why? Because they were losing business. They were losing a tremendous amount of income, millions and millions of dollars from Mexicans that daily visit such places to buy cars, to buy sodas, to buy any product you can imagine. Many Mexicans prefer cross the border and buy it. Why that is happening? Well, I am Mexican American, but let me explain you. Mexican towns along the Mexican border, well, they have a lot of business, a lot of activities, because they are located on the border. So people has a good income, and some of them try to buy in the American companies, in the American cities, because they say they have a better quality products. I really don't believe it, because a lot of Mexican products are selling in America. Many products are manufactured in Mexico, but some people ideas drives me crazy. But the real thing is that even the money exchange from pesos to dollars, Mexicans can find better prices in many products. And the other thing is, if they show their laser visa and their passport, they don't have to pay taxes for the products. So many products are more affordable, more cheaper or inexpensive, and that is why many Mexicans cross the border and try to get those products. So every day in America, every day in Mexico, there is a mutual relationship, commercial, depending from many families that we have relatives in Mexico. And believe it or not, there are Mexicans that prefer living in Mexico, and they are more happy in Mexico than living in America. And I don't blame them. They prefer that environment. So in many situations, there is a contrast. I don't know if you heard about the book Distant Neighbors, written by Alan Rading, a former correspondent of the New York Times. And he was describing on that book that difference you find as soon as you cross the International Lincoln Juarez Bridge over the Rio Bravo between Nuevo Laredo and Laredo, Texas. You can see the difference. No potholes on the streets, clean streets, every stoplight is working, and it's sad, but for many years, Mexican authorities try to restore security and infrastructure on the Mexican border cities. But let me tell you, I was doing my own research, and I find out that it's impossible. Why? Because the drug cartels, mobs, and the people who traffic with people, there is a lot of cartels and a lot of mafias that cross people illegally by the Mexican-American border. La trata is sad. But those people, a policeman was telling me, that people shoot the lights on the streets on the Mexican side. They prefer dark streets to do their dairy operations, exploitation, prostitution, and hide people, whatever they want to do. They shoot the stoplights. So we cannot blame the whole Mexican government. We have to be fair and tell the truth. What is happening also is a responsibility in our side on Mexicans colluded with Colombian and Cuban mobs that transport a lot of people illegally through the Mexican-American border. So, by the end of the day, Mexican cities along the border are unsafe. Why? Because the drug cartels consider their own territories. Every day they cross tons and tons of toxic drugs, drugs that are killing American kids every day. Alkaloids, fentanyls, whatever, components they bring from China. And they use on the labs to make illegal drugs and sell in America everywhere. Drives me crazy. For many years as news reporter, I was criticizing and pointing the finger on these situations. Nobody pays me attention. Many people consider me crazy. In fact, many people betrays me. And betrays me to the point that trying to affect my family, myself, and honestly, Lord bless America. Because America recognizes when somebody is trying to protect the integrity of the human being against those drug dealers. Mexican authorities try to do their part, but the long way corrupt system they are carrying for tens and tens of years make impossible. Some of those towns along the border have mayors and police chief administrations that are managed by the drug cartels. Drug cartels replace mayors, replace police departments, even the army branch that is on those towns are manipulated by some drug cartels. Well, you saw days ago, the Mexican president stopped to say hello and shake hands with the mother of El Chapo Guzman, the most powerful drug dealer humanity have. Cartel of Sinaloa managed more revenue than Exxon Oil Company. Can you imagine that? And the Mexican president say, "Oh, don't get out of the car. I come to you and let me shake your hand, honorable madam." And I was telling, "Oh, I got your letter. Don't worry." And the Chapo attorney was touching the president, the Mexican president, from his shoulder, like telling, "Oh, good job, good job. You are part of us." It's unbelievable. It is a situation that make feel all Mexicans very bad, because Mexicans are not drug dealers. A minority are the drug dealers. And these actions of the Mexican president make understand that those cartels manipulate the government, manipulates the operations, and that is the way it's impossible. Many soldiers, many police, federal policemen tell me, "Francisco, we can do anything. If we try to be honest, they kill us." Nobody likes to be a policeman anymore in Mexico. Why? Because there is not legal guarantees, there is not protection, there is not safety, nobody respects the law, everything is corrupt. And I was infuriated with that video. You can Google. It's all over. It's a trending topic video on YouTube and every social network. Mexican president with El Chapo mother. And you can see very clear. They talk to each other like if they have years and years of confidence. How Andrés Manuel López Obrador can tell Mexicans he's fighting against the drug mobs? Well, he's not fighting. Remember the day the Mexican army tried to capture the son of El Chapo Guzman in Sinaloa, they have to release him a couple hours later. Why? Because they put all the army, the drug cartel army force on the streets, shooting everywhere. And the government was intimidated, and they have to bend their arms. They have to give their arm to twist and release him. And nobody did anything, even the president. He was telling that he's going to defend his campaign, stop gunshots, hug people. And he believes that hugging drug dealers and hugging the leaders of the cartels, he is going to convince them to stop the violence, to stop the murder, to stop the drug dealing everywhere they do in the world. Because Mexico is the main market to transfer drugs all over the world. Mexico is not only a producer of drugs, is becoming also a consumer. Why? Because drug cartels find out that making or promoting the addiction between teenagers, they have free employees that help them murdering others and transporting drugs everywhere. What is happening with the immigrants that cross the border? Well, look, the great business of drug cartels. They bring them to the border. They give a backpack to every undocumented immigrant. They have to pay more than $3,000. And they cross them walking on the border. Once they cross and walk above 5 or 8 miles, they stop in a ranch where they have to drop the bags. The bags are full of drugs. Any drugs, synthetic components, and many things. After that, they put them in a minivan. And the minivan transport them to a ranch or a local airport where they are transported in illegal planes to other ranch on the states of the North of America, and they are waiting for them. Contractors, ranchers, or relatives. But they have to pay another $3,000 for the completing of this trip or completing this smuggling process. And what's going on? They pay. They have to pay. And finally, once they pay, they are released. It's sad, but it's true. It's happening in America every day. And one day, I was working on my garden late last summer, and I sit on my chair outside, enjoying the stars and the darkness. And I start to see, it was after midnight, and I saw a lot of small planes crossing above. And I was thinking, oh my goodness, how many of those planes are legal flights with a flight plan registered on private airports, wherever, or how many of these flights are illegal, transporting drugs, transporting undocumented people, transporting ladies for prostitution centers. It's sad, but it's the truth. It's a situation with endless process. And even here in Atlanta, authorities declare a fight against the illegal human trafficking and against the trata and against the prostitution. Guess what? Atlanta is where more massage places has operating comparing with the nationwide average, and drives me very sad because many of those places are not for a regular massage. There are some things beyond with a very fat tip because it's unbelievable. Regular massage, well, go to the chiropractor. See, and they provide you a normal massage. But this Chinese massage, half moon massage, and they are open after midnight, come on. It's not easy to understand the situation, but as well, it's not easy to cover with your thumb finger. It's a reality. In America, somebody is covering the prostitution and the drug trafficking still operating in a big proportion, and nobody cares to stop it. Why? Because there is money behind. There are a lot of drugs behind. There are a lot of situations involving politicians, involving head of police departments, involving everywhere people that is corrupt, more corrupt than anyone. Because yes, they criticize Mexican authorities, Mexican drug cartels, but nobody talks about that in the American side there is somebody that authorizes the transportation and the promotion and the sellings of those drugs, of that sex trafficking, of that business that nobody stopped. Nobody cares. And believe it or not, America is suffering a lot from these situations. I saw devastating American families destroyed by the consumption of drugs on their young children. And we cannot tolerate that anymore. I saw girls, 16 years old girls, completely abused when they were under the influence of those powerful drugs. And parents are desperate to do something, but they have no idea how to start, how to stop it. They take them to the recovery programs. There are television shows that put ideas and show the life experiences on many people, but nobody point the finger to the real responsible people of this situation. And it's time to do it. It's time, and many newscasters on the English television, on the English newspapers, they know how it is happening. They know how they are colluded, and they know the police department bosses who tolerate this. But as federal authorities are very busy with other situations about terrorism, money laundering, many situations, they approach this chance to keep doing the business. A very fat business, a very productive business, because without moving a finger, they can make millions and millions of dollars without intervention of anything. And America is losing that war. We are very worried about this pandemic. We are very worried about illegal immigration that only comes to work. But illegal drugs are also destroying America. Thank you so much. Have a good night. I talk to you tomorrow. Bye bye.